Hello, crewmates, castaways, and creatures of all kinds. I am your local pirate captain, Selvixie, but for this video, you can call me Lore Vixie, because today we're going to be talking about Aatrox lore. I have been obsessed with lore since 2013, since I discovered this really niche indie game called League of Legends and decided to make my whole personality learning all the character backstories. And since my friends simply don't appreciate my random voice lines and backstory drops, I've decided to share it with you instead. Before we get started, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so that big algorithm thinks I'm really freaking cool, and let's get started. Looking at Shurima today, you'd never guess that thousands of years ago it housed a thriving civilization with godlike warriors and unmatchable power. Today, all there is to see is unforgiving desert landscape in the southernmost region of Runeterra. That's the world the League of Legends takes place, don't worry, you'll catch on. There are still remnants of that once great time. The key to those godlike powers was something called a sun disk, and it was here that Aatrox first became a god. Aatrox was a warrior of Shurima. He was a noble dude, everyone liked him, so they were like, hey dog, do you want unlimited power? And he was like, yeah, that sounds sick. And so he ascended at the sun disk. He and many others in Shurima were given these powers, and he was a key defender of Shurima. Acathia, one of Shurima's vassal states, rebelled against Shurima, and Aatrox was chosen to cut them down. Unfortunately for Aatrox and some of the other ascended warriors, Acathia decided that unleashing this thing called the Void would be a really great idea and was the key to win the war. The Void is like an alternate dimension full of endless weird alien bug creatures. I'm talking they're like real sick, twisted monsters. It's a nightmare. Needless to say, that didn't go well for Acathia. They're really stupid. Those morons opened the portal on their own land. Now Acathia is nothing but a barren wasteland with a bunch of sealed void portals, which we'll talk about that another time. Aatrox and his fellow Ascended fought for years against the Void. While they managed to beat the creatures back and seal the Void portals, it did leave Aatrox and his fellow Ascended a little touched, I guess you could say. Shurima eventually fell, as all great empires do, but it's because the Ascension ritual failed for the newest emperor, which caused the sun disk to just blow up and decimate the entire city and the sun disk itself. With Shurima gone, the Ascended had nothing better to do, I guess, than start fighting each other. Loser behavior, by the way, like take a vacation, what are you doing? Mortals were unfortunately often caught in the crossfire and started referring to these Ascended losers as something called Darken, because they were becoming a big problem. Eventually, the Targons got involved. Now, what is Targon? Targon is located in the westernmost region of Shurima. It's got this big ass mountain, and plot twist, also allows for Ascension. What? Oh my god. It's not actually the same as Ascension, but for our purposes here today, we'll just call it that. I'll go into more details about that in another video. Basically, people climb this impossible tall mountain, become uber powerful, but aren't quite themselves afterwards. But the most important part is that they're really powerful. Anyway, some powerful Targon taught these mortals how they could stop the Darken from causing so much trouble, and the way to do that was to seal them inside their own weapons, deserved, in my opinion. So now, Aatrox is stuck in his sword, and it sucks in there. He can't breathe, he can't see. It's just limbo, darkness, pure sensory deprivation, literal torture. Not a fun place to be. One day, some poor sucker grabs the sword, and Aatrox is like, OMG, I can take over this guy's body. So he whooshes himself into this guy's consciousness, takes over his body. Unfortunately for my dude, it does kill the guy instantly. Years go on. Aatrox keeps taking over people's bodies anytime they grab the sword, and he learns that he can consume the people that he kills to make himself grow stronger. He starts doing this a lot. Years and years go by. He starts trying to shape himself into what he once was, but it's never really the same. He's just walking around in a bunch of decaying bodies and skin, kind of like Michael Afton if you think about it. He eventually comes to the conclusion that he'll never regain his former rock and hop bod, and he decides that if he can't be free of his sword prison, that he is going to force the apocalypse. He's going to force everything that ever has existed to stop existing so that he can finally die. I kind of get it, I do, but it's also kind of deserved. How are you gonna have all this power and then just decide that you're gonna start fighting your buddies all the time? Anyway, he tries to get all his other Darken buddies who also got sealed into their own weapons to join him in this big war that he's planning on waging with the entirety of Runeterra. And basically that's all he does. He just runs around killing people, trying to start the apocalypse like a little freak. If you liked this lore video, like and subscribe, and then maybe I'll make more. I'm really planning on just going in alphabetical order. That seems like the easiest option, which is why we started with your boy, Aatrox. That's an easy grab. That's two A's. That's two of the first letters of the alphabet. But Ari could be next. Please like this video so that I don't get depressed and decide not to do lore for Ari. I'll probably do lore for Ari anyway. She's really hot.